Welcome back to ZNGP Today. Marc Márquez added another chapter to an extraordinary comeback by collecting the inaugural ADN Marca award after a season that delivered his 9th world title and a powerful personal vindication. At the gala, attended with brother Álex, who finished the season as runner-up, Márquez reflected on survival, perspective and a slow physical recovery that he says is finally showing signs of real progress ahead of the February Sepang tests. Yamaha has issued a measured rebuttal to Fabio Quartararo's public frustrations, acknowledging the rider's anger but warning that airing grievances in public undermines the long-term project. Racing director Paolo Pavesio struck a careful balance, empathy for a frustrated world champion, paired with a reminder that professionalism and collective focus are essential as Yamaha pushes to close the performance gap ahead of a new technical era. Fabio Quartararo made no secret of his demands after the inline M1's final season. Yamaha's V4 must be a winning bike. Winless for 3.5 seasons, the 2021 world champion set a clear benchmark. He needs a machine that lets him fight for podiums every sprint and GP. Valencia was a dress rehearsal. Sepang will be the real test. Don't forget to click subscribe button and the bell icon for MotoGP news update. "2025 will be remembered as a landmark season for Marquez, a 9th world crown that cements his place among MotoGP's all-time greats. The achievement resonated beyond the track, celebrated in his hometown, and honored by the Marca accolade. It was a hard-fought title. I've lost 3 years of my career, but I've gained so much in my life." The title reads as both sporting success and a story of resilience, a comeback framed by sacrifice and perspective. The gala doubled as a family celebration. Álex Márquez's runner-up finish turned the season into a historic one for the Marquez household and the town of Cervera. Local tributes and team celebrations emphasized the emotional weight of the season. The siblings' joint success added a human, communal dimension to an otherwise intensely personal journey. Receiving Marca's first ADN award underlined how Marquez's comeback transcends motorcycling. His recovery and persistence resonated across Spanish sport. Presenter Saul Craviado framed the honor as recognition of an athlete who inspires beyond his discipline. "I'm happy for this award. I'm delighted." The ceremony spotlighted Marquez not only as a champion but as a sporting ambassador. Physically, Marquez is cautious but optimistic. After 5 weeks in a sling following shoulder surgery, he says mobility and muscle strength are returning and he's targeting peak condition for February's Malaysia tests. He left open the possibility of riding sooner, but confirmed his first factory bike contact will be in Sepang. "My shoulder is doing well. I'm starting to regain mobility, some muscle, to arrive in the best possible shape for the February tests in Malaysia. The focus is measured. Incremental gains now, test readiness later." Marquez's reflections mixed on-track pride with broader life lessons. Losing prime years to injury has reshaped his priorities. He speaks of gains far beyond lap times, perspective, resilience, and family. His season score, self-awarded at the gala, suggested a blend of satisfaction and the humility of a rider who knows the work continues. The narrative has shifted from pure results to recovery, legacy, and balance. Marc Márquez's Marca DNA award capped a season that was as much about comeback as championship. With mobility returning and a clear plan for Sepang, Marquez is balancing caution with readiness. The next milestone will be testing in Malaysia, where fitness, form, and the Ducati will determine whether this recovery phase translates into sustained performance on track. Pavesio began by recognizing the human side of Quartararo's comments. Frustration after a difficult season is understandable, but made clear the team needs unity and discretion. "From a human perspective, I understand the frustration, but we're all professionals and we're in this together." Yamaha's response is diplomatic: support the rider, but protect the project from damaging public rhetoric. To rebut the narrative of decline, Pavesio offered concrete performance figures. The M1's average qualifying gap shrank from 1.30s to 0.35s year-on-year, with 5 poles and 10 front-row starts this season. Those stats, he argued, show clear progress. The bike has significantly improved in lap times. Numbers are Yamaha's weapon of choice here. They framed Quartararo's complaints as part of a broader, improving technical picture. Pavesio admitted the M1 is stronger over a single lap and in sprints, but loses performance over the full race distance, a blunt acknowledgement of the problem Quartararo has repeatedly highlighted. The longer a race goes, the more we suffer. Yamaha accepts the diagnosis. The debate now centers on finding engineering fixes rather than trading barbs. Pavesio pointed to deeper structural steps, a reorganized racing department, fresh personnel, and the creation of a Moto2 project, moves intended to feed talent and development into the MotoGP program. He framed these as foundation work for a bright future. We have restructured the racing department. All this will lead us to a bright future. Yamaha's message is not quick fixes but institutional change, patience, and investment to deliver sustained gains. Both rider and manufacturer are eyeing the 850 cubic centimeters regulations arriving in 2027, and Pavesio warned that public criticism can damage Yamaha's ability to respond effectively. He reminded observers that the brand's commitment is paramount, and that collective effort will be required to return to the top. Our commitment is to Yamaha. If we do something that benefits all our riders, we will get a positive result. With rule changes looming and Quartararo reportedly weighing options for 2027, the coming months will test whether diplomacy and engineering can rebuild trust. Yamaha's response to Quartararo is cautious but clear. The M1 is better than critics claim, but real issues remain over race pace. The factory has answered with data, internal restructuring, and a pledge to keep investing, while gently chiding public complaints. The key for both sides will be whether technical progress and improved communication can close the gap before a decisive 850 cubic centimeters era begins in 2027. Quartararo was blunt. He wants a fast bike he can race from the front. After years of compromise, the patience has run thin. Expectations are concrete and immediate. I need a fast bike. I want a winning bike. I want to fight for top 3 and top 5 every sprint and GP. The rider's message is strategic pressure, clear targets for engineers, and a deadline in the preseason. The Valencia test showed partial progress. Quartararo lapped 0.554s off the pace and finished 15th, but Yamaha deliberately held back engine performance. That tempered result underlined the prototype nature of the outing. Valencia offered clues, not conclusions. The V4 there was still a work in progress. Yamaha's internal roadmap calls for more substantial changes between Valencia and Sepang. Test rider Augusto Fernandez indicated the February tests will see the real V4 arrive, a package much closer to what the team expects to race. For Valencia, I know the bike will still not be completely ready. February Sepang, the bike will almost be the one we'll race. Sepang is framed as the technical pivot. Validation or disappointment will come there. The timeline matters. Factory riders can enter the Sepang shakedown, January 29th to 31st, thanks to Yamaha's deconcession status, followed by the official test, February 3rd to 5th. Quartararo has been explicit that those sessions must show decisive gains. The combination of constrained development windows and a rider's patience running out creates high stakes for the winter program. If the V4 at Sepang delivers competitive race pace and consistency, Quartararo's confidence, and Yamaha's hopes, get a major boost. If it disappoints, the factory faces hard questions about development direction and rider retention. Sepang isn't just a test, it's the first real yardstick of whether Yamaha's V4 can restore Quartararo to the front. Quartararo's demand is straightforward, a bike that wins. Valencia was a useful step but not definitive. The decisive moment comes at Sepang. With engine updates and a nearer race specification expected, The January/February tests will reveal whether Yamaha's V4 can meet a champion's minimum standard, or force both rider and manufacturer into tougher choices for 2026 and beyond. Thanks for watching ZNGP Today, and this is your MotoGP news update. And see you next time!